All right. Welcome, Blue Collar Millionaires. We are excited about this topic because I'm going to say this is probably one of the number one complaints that I hear when I'm sitting at round tables with individuals or just walking through my marketplace at the grocery store or wherever I might be when I talk to any business owners. We're going to teach you today and then give you some deliverables at the end of this on how to hire virtual assistants and top tier players for your team, whether they're in person or virtual. We're going to get into that. So, Kevin, man, tell us what you've got going on. This guy has mastered the virtual assistant situation, so we definitely want to hear some of those things that will help us identify what we need to delegate and how we find those people to delegate them to.
Thanks, Chris. Virtual assistants have completely changed my business and my life. I have a lot of them. In every business, I have them. And today I'm going to talk about how I figure out what they can do and how to hire them. I'm going to give kind of a brief overview. I do have a PDF. I'm going to edit it a little bit tonight after the call, and then I'm going to put it up in this group so anybody can have it. I may even make a video of me posting an ad in Upwork because there's some people we have to hire. But I'm going to kind of go through some of the stuff I had in my post, and then actually going on the Upwork site, take you through it. It'll be brief, and then I'm going to have that PDF so anybody can ask me, put your email in the comments. We actually have a virtual assistant who does our social media, Chris and I, and he will go through there and send it to you. So the first thing is about how to figure out every job in your company. And here's a good way to do it. So I had this in my post, but I'm going to repeat it. I make a Google sheet of everything I do in my business. I put that in column A, every task, bookkeeping, paying sales tax, answering emails, answering phone calls, doing proposals, everything. I mean, you're going to list over 100 of them. In column B, I determine who is doing that today. So if you're a solopreneur, it might be you. You might copy and paste your name down the whole thing. The goal is going to be to get your name out of as many of those things as possible. And you're going to be strategic by it because you want to stick to the stuff that you're best at, that you get energy from, and that produces revenue. So answering emails, answering phone calls, it's not really my thing, not a great use of my time. I want to use other things. So I'm always looking to delegate those things. Certificates of insurance, customers ask us, we have hundreds of people asking us every week. So that's another thing. It's like somebody completely does that at VA. In column C, I put who's going to do this in the future. So if I know it's going to be me, I put myself. If I say, hey, this is something I could probably teach, could be a virtual employee. And if it's just like a high level thing, like doing taxes, I might put CPA. There's not going to be a lot of those. I'm going to try to get virtual assistant into as many things as possible. So how do I determine, once I have all these things listed, I take one or two things that you want to get off your plate that you think you can teach. Start slow. And then I make a Google Doc because I want to be able to edit it at any time. I don't send them a PDF. And I write down everything I have to do for that task. And I used to do this for infield employees. I say, make it so easy a 12-year-old can understand it.
Yeah,
so
man.
Any of you have a 12-year-old, you know that you got to make it pretty simple. It's not because people aren't bright. I like when people talk to me and tell me something like a 12-year-old because I'll just take it and run with it. I don't have to ask you. So I'll take my time with it because I'm thinking to myself, I'm never going to do this again. I'm done with this. And if this person that I hire quits, doesn't work out, I can just send it to the next person because I've already put the effort in. Also in there, I'm going to then screen record myself doing it, like a whole 10-minute video. You can post that on YouTube or any screen recording video. I'll put that in the Google Doc. Then I'll tell them, hey, read through this, read it a couple times, take your time, watch the video twice. I'm paying them to do it. And I need you to do this and ask me if you have any questions. I'll tell you, they almost never ask me questions, especially my current VAs. They just run with it because I've taken the effort to really make it simple for them, and they're smart people.
So while you're putting these videos together, do you find that if you explain why you're doing it, not just this is what to do, but why
Awesome.
you're doing it, it helps them?
Awesome point. I always tell them why I'm doing it, and especially because I'm already thinking if I have VAs, I'm already thinking who's going to do it. I'm kind of talking to that person a little in general. I always tell them why I'm doing it, why we're going there as a company. People want to know that. So I'm selling the vision, not only the task.
Yeah.
Because I need them to get behind it. That's a really good point. I did not do that always in the beginning. And I had one VA, she's just really bright, Angela, and she used to ask me, can you tell me why we're doing this, or why would we do this and not this? And I started telling her, and she just wanted to know. And it made it a lot easier for her. That's a really good point. The way to get rid of these is you could just do 2 or 3 of these rows a week. At the end of the year, you're going to have 100 done.
Yeah.
You're going to have virtual assistants doing everything for you at that point. And one virtual assistant might end up doing 30 of these things, if you get a really, really good one.
How did you know when you can afford a virtual assistant or any employee at that point?
Well, I guess it's same as when did you need one? When you start feeling overwhelmed, when you're coming home at night and like you're not spending time with your kids and you're missing dinner and you're looking at your phone, you're stressed out, that's when you need this person. Yeah. So hiring this person, you don't have to commit to 40 hours. You could hire them for 10 hours. You could say, hey, I just need somebody to help me answer emails. So when I come home, they've already kind of answered everybody. And I have something called Kev Reply or Kev To Do. It's in blue. We get, 500 emails sometimes a day, more. Wow. And they've gotten it down to where I maybe have 5 of those. So I'm only looking at 5 emails. And if
how did you identify what emails are going to get passed over, and how did you break that down? Because that's something I hear a lot of business owners say, I got somebody to handle my emails, but how do you train them to know how to shift what emails? Give us an example.
Well, I make templates for all the common emails. So a lot of it is just using templates. And then because they're using the templates and seeing a lot of the same questions that I've already answered for them, they'll start to be able to kind of like, okay, well, I wouldn't necessarily answer this exactly like this, but I think I could do it like this. And this is what happens in the beginning. There used to be Kev Replies all over the place. There'd be 50 of them. And then I would just start actually telling them why I answered it and how they could have answered it. And then I might make a new template, or I might make a new document and say, hey, here's 10 new emails that we find all the time. And I just kept getting that number down. But I make templates that are really good. I hate answers like if you email me, hey, can I get a proposal for this? And we're like, yeah, we'll take care of it. I hate those type of emails. It's always, Chris, thank you for your interest in our company. Yes, I know that property. We can take a look at it on Tuesday. We won't disturb any of the residents. We even put a map of what your property looks like, and then we send it. So the VAs are doing that. But the client's getting like a feeling like, man, they're on top of stuff. They feel confident. Compare that to, I'll get to it. Yeah, I'll have it to you later this week. Like that's every email I get. I get those emails from people. If I don't know that person, I don't have a lot of confidence in them.
Yeah, the clearer you can be on your communication, the least question marks you get, for sure.
And this gives the VAs confidence too, because they're like, yeah, this makes sense. And it also cuts all the feedback back and forth from the manager or whoever that prospect client is.
So where are you finding your VAs at?
All right. So you can get them on the 2 popular sites are Upwork and Fiverr. I like Upwork.com, and I'll tell you quickly how I do that. Let me pull my little notes up here. Sorry.
Yeah, because you've got a way of identifying a good interviewee.
This is what I do. I go to Upwork.com. You can go there tonight, set up an account, add your banking information, a credit card or something. look around the site, get familiar with the site. You can literally find anything from an artist to an executive assistant to an attorney to somebody to translate something from Spanish to English. Everybody's on there. Do the worldwide view, not just the United States. And then I would look to hire somebody for 1 or 2 tasks. It can tell you, you don't have to hire this person full time. It'll say, is this a one-time task? Are you looking to hire for 1 week, 1 month, whatever? So you can make it as low as you want. I would cap the hours. I like hourly, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I would cap the hours to say 10 or 15 hours so that you know your budget. Just because they have, I make $8 an hour doesn't mean you can offer them whatever you feel comfortable. I would offer a little bit less, probably 20%. So if they're saying 8, I'd put 6. They almost always take it. They want work. Then that Google Doc you had about that task, I would take that, and maybe if you're going to do 2 or 3 tasks, I would kind of transfer it into one document. And that can be your job post of what you're looking to do, because they'll read through it and people will answer and say, I can do that. I know what he's doing. Then you post a PDF into the job. So when you're posting a job, you'll figure it all out. It's really easy to use. I post that job thing, and then you're going to get a lot of people applying. But Upwork is smart, just like Facebook Friends. It will tell you people that it thinks that can help you. So I will go in there and invite them based on their reviews and how much money they made. And here's quickly how I do this. I only want people with 90% positive reviews, no different than getting 4 or 5-star electrician or plumber to your house. And then I want people who actually have reviews written, not just 5-star. I want to see that somebody like me wrote a review. So if I sold my company, I would write huge reviews on everybody who works for me because I really like them, right? But if I didn't really like them and somebody was like texting me on WhatsApp, put a 5-star review, man. Come on, man. I might just put a 5-star, but I'm not actually going to sit there and write it.
It's a valid point.
That's a key thing. So, and then look at how much money they've earned, which almost always goes with written reviews. If they've only earned $400, I mean, they didn't really do much for that person. But if you look and you see that person made at least $3,000 on that job, that means that person liked them, right? They worked a lot of hours for that person. So that's the keys that I go to. And then people will start applying to it, and you can just kind of side mark the ones you like. And then you can do a Zoom, right? There's a calendar and a Zoom right in Upwork. You can set it up with them right there. Hey, are you available at 9:45 tomorrow? Hey, are you available at 10? And me or my team will just do quick Zooms with them, 15 minutes. See what they think about that job. They'll ask any questions. You can say, hey, have you done this before? Is this something you can help me with? If I was new to this, I would try to get an experienced person. It doesn't cost that much. I would get the experienced person that can show you how to do some stuff.
Yeah.
Who says, hey, I worked for Gutter King, man, for 13 years, and then he sold his company. You think somebody working for me, when I sell my company, can't come in there? They'd kill it.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's what you want, rather than I don't want to teach you and I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't really know. You want somebody who has that. It's worth the extra, $2-3 an hour? It's not much.
Yeah, 100%, because what is your time worth? It all goes back to what is your time worth. So to recap, we've got you're getting clear on what you need. And by getting clear on what you need, you're using a Google Sheet so that you can write down every task that the company does. And then you assign those tasks that you least enjoy and that are taking the most time or are not revenue generating, like checking emails. Absolutely. And then you get on Upwork or Fiverr. You prefer Upwork. And then you find a prospect based off of their reviews, written reviews, not just star reviews, and also money earned. Then you reach out to them. And actually, before you've even gotten on Fiverr or Upwork, you've already recorded how to do these tasks through a Google Doc and also a screen record. So these are all things that can be passed on virtually. So what about what about if you were doing, are you worried about language barriers if you're trying to have them answer the phone?
Actually, the people who answer phones for me, like I have a rock star here in Charlotte. She answers all the phone, does all customer service. I would probably prefer to have somebody in the States do that. Also, they're on the same time schedule as you, but you could absolutely use somebody overseas to do that. But you could still find that person on Upwork. I found her on Upwork. I just happened to hire her full time.
So we both have team members in the field. I know you do a lot of subcontract because of how your company is set up. Me personally, in my disaster cleanup company, I've got team members that are W-2 employed. They show up in a uniform representing our name. They drive off in a company vehicle wrapped in our name. So therefore, I can't use them as subcontractors according to labor laws, because I tell them how to respond, everything. So in that aspect of it, hiring those individuals, whether it is a subcontractor or someone that's going to be W-2 employed. I'm going to speak on the W-2 employed, and then I'd like to hear you on the 1099 subcontractor side very briefly. Okay. So W-2 side, I struggled in the beginning when I was trying to hire. If they were a warm body and they could carry a decent conversation, then I would give them a try. Then I found that I was letting them go 90, 120 days or longer later because I hated firing someone. They were there. I'm seeing them every day. A lot of times they were riding in the truck with me early on. So it was just a bad hiring process. Then I began to add what they call core values. So what are the things that I believe make up me and this company? And so I came up with 5 or 7 core values. And so to give you an example, our core values spells out GREAT, the acronym GREAT. And the G stands for growth. So I'll ask these potential team members, what have you done to better yourself in the last 6 months? Because I want to know, do they have a growth mindset? Because if they've got a growth mindset, they're going to fit in great with us. If they have a mindset of, I show up, I clock in, I take my money, and then I go home and I do my own thing, that's not a growth mindset. And they're not going to be able to grow with the company. They're not going to be resourceful. They're not going to be revenue drivers for the company. It's just a warm body that might be able to do the task, but it doesn't fit the persona. So another thing I like to ask them is, do you feel like you're a lucky person? This also helps me weed out the negative Nancys and the Karens. Okay. Now, if your name is Nancy or Karen, I'm sure you're a great person because you're watching this, but those people that just bring negativity. So if you will ask open-ended questions, a lot of times they'll sit there and tell you their story, and you can identify if they're a cultural fit for your company. I feel like that's probably the most important thing, because it only takes one kink in the chain link to weaken the entire establishment, because it spreads like wildfire when you got that negativity. The other thing is, then I start to look for skill sets. One thing that's helped me draw in higher top tier players that are already trained in my industry is by having a brand awareness in my market. Because when I have people moving in from the outside into my marketplace, they will come knock on my door, and I don't have to get on Indeed. I don't have to get on social media or do a bonus commission type thing for my current employees to reach out to the people that they feel would be a good fit. They come and seek me out because A players want to be with A playing companies. And if you represent yourself that way and you've got that brand in the marketplace, then it gets easier as time goes on. So I just picked up 2 individuals that were highly certified and accredited in my industry certifications. And as soon as I saw their certification card, I said, let's do an interview right now. But they walked through my door and put an application in. So the other ways that I pick up in-person employees is I tell my current employees, do you know anybody you would like to work with that's in your network that might be that you would enjoy working with and that might be interested in a career change? I also tell everybody as I'm out in the marketplace, I'm always recruiting. So if someone says, how business going? It's going fantastic. we're always looking for great team members to help us scale and expand. If they're interested, I picked up one of my team members that way, went through Pyro's Pizza. He asked that question. I made that statement. He said, hey, man, I might be interested if you can match my current pay. So I said, let's have a conversation. Grabbed his number, called him later. So constantly be telling people what you're looking for. And then Indeed is one resource that I use if I'm trying to do any type of administrative or upper level management type position. And then Facebook and using my current employees have been a great way to find my field staff that aren't in upper management. You have any other tips outside of that? And then kind of tell us about your subcontractor hiring.
Wow, that was a great list. And I did a lot of things wrong. I used to have the warm body guy, but for me, it's now I try to reverse engineer it. I think, who are my best employees or even subcontractors? How did I find them, and how can I repeat that? For employees, I think the best way is getting them to help you get other ones, because A players will not recommend C players. They don't even hang out with them.
True.
So I try to create a culture where people really like to come to work. I'm really accessible. They enjoy it. And then they kind of spread the word. And I'll give you an example. I had this one woman, Susie. She's awesome. She's worked for me. And then her cousin started working for me. And it was such an easy transition. And then I really like her. She has all the same core values and everything. But I already knew that from my own experience of having, when I had really good infield employees and they say, yeah, I'm going to bring my brother or I'm going to bring my buddy. They would always be top level people too. But I've also had the other where some guy who's barely hanging on to his job and I want to get rid of him. He's like, yeah, my brother needs work, man. Can I bring him? Like, no, I don't want two of you. I don't even want.
No doubt.
Yeah, you here. But you have to create an opportunity for A players too. They have to be able to see a vision on where they can go.
Right.
So I do that with my employees. I'll talk to them and I'll say, hey, where are you looking to get? I mean, I even have a VA. She's buying up a lot of real estate. She's my number one in the Philippines. She has three of her sisters and 2 other people under her. And she says, I want to own a lot of real estate. I want to do it. So I talked to her about, how can we do this? How can I get you doing more stuff, managing more people? You can get a larger part of the profit sharing. And we've built that. She's been with me for 6 years, and she absolutely is buying up land doing that. So I try to look at what they want, and then how do you get there to do it? Last thing about employees, here's the number one to me. Good people who are already working for somebody, for the most part, there has to be a reason. Like maybe their company got sold, or they just don't like the opportunity there. But when I talk to someone, and I always say, where's the last place you worked? And they're like, oh, I was working for this guy. And I say, when did you stop working for him? And they'll try to tell you, oh, it was like a month ago or something. I'm like, when? Do you know the date? Because, I want to call them. And they're like, yeah, it was last fall. Like, they literally been not working for 6 months. I don't even need to call that guy.
Me neither.
But I always call references. If I can't call the last person you work for and that person doesn't have nice things to say for you, all I'm doing is taking on his problems. He got rid of you. I've had people call me, and I don't want to like kill somebody's ability to make money, but sometimes I'm thinking, this guy gave you my number? Right. It was horrible. I've told employees, bro, because I'm more on the entrepreneur guy. I don't want to mess up his business. I say, you do not want this guy. He literally will come to work 3 days late every week and have a whole story for you. He goes, really? And he gave me his recommendation. I said, I don't think he knows any better. He's hoping you don't call me, but you did. So I'm gonna save you time. Yeah,
I think that's huge right there. I don't hire anybody that's unemployed anymore unless there was a real reason. And most of the time they never get that chance to tell me. I mean, that tells you a lot right there if they're willing to sit unemployed. Most A players, top tier shelf team members, they are going, I got a fly running around me. They're going to they're going to move from job to job. They're not going to quit a job, sit at home, because that would drive them nuts. And most of the time, it's like you said, they're either at a glass ceiling, they got no room to work, improve, to expand their wealth, to expand their knowledge and opportunity, and or there was a purchase, a sale, and management change took place, and now they just don't fit in with the new culture that management is putting off.
There could be reasons, but you could just think in your own life of somebody who, like my brother's an example. He's not high level skilled, but he works like really hard. He'll go to work 30 minutes early every day. He's never been unemployed.
Yeah.
He's had two different companies he worked for sold. Like somebody from another job that always brings him on to his job every time. They want to bring him because he's going to be impressive to those people. He never sits around, but then other people, they can't get a job for 5 or 6 months. Not to say you're not skilled on that level, but some of these jobs that we're hiring, you shouldn't be out of work very long. There's so many.
Absolutely.
If you have a license and you have a good attitude, there's blue collar guys that are going to hire you for sure.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly said. So we're getting at 26 minutes, and we're trying to keep these things short for you guys. So y'all pay attention. There will be some PDFs, some documents that are released to help you that Kevin has done on his virtual assistant side. I'll even come in and I'll show you an example of what my core values and some of the questions that I ask, so that you can pick up some of those questions to implement on your own interview process. Any last words, Kevin?
No, that's the subcontractors. It's really the same as hiring employees. It's the same type of thing, just maybe not as in depth. I really make sure they have integrity and have a good track record as well and good references. But yeah, we'll put a PDF in here so everybody can access it. And then we'll probably touch on this some more because it's such a long subject.
Absolutely.
When we do our mastermind, we'll probably do like 90 minutes on it because it's extensive and it changes the scope of your business. You need A players to get to the million mark, to get to the 5 million mark. You just have to.
You have to. I agree 100%.
It won't work. So we'll see everybody next Tuesday.
See you guys.
All right, Chris. Thanks.